Hi all, how are you doing today? Welcome to Tales by Darshu. Before I start the story, I just want to thank you for being here and supporting my journey. It really means a lot. Now, let's begin. In the last episode, we started the Dashavatara series with the story of Vishnu's first avatar. Today, we begin the legendary story of Kurma Avatar, the giant tortoise form of Lord Vishnu, who saved the universe during one of the most important cosmic events, the Samudra Manthan, the great churning of the ocean. But before we get to that epic moment, let us go back a little to understand why the churning had to happen at all. Long ago, the three worlds, the heaven, the earth, and the underworld, were balanced. The Devas, the celestial gods, ruled the heavens under the leadership of Indra, king of the skies. The Asuras, their eternal rivals, lived in the underworld, always waiting for a chance to overpower the Devas. Both were powerful, both were born from the same father, Kashyap Rishi, but from different mothers. They were cousins, bound by blood, yet destined to be enemies forever. For ages, the Devas held the upper hand, protected by Vishnu. Blessed by sacrifices and rituals, they enjoyed prosperity, respect, and divine strength. The Asuras, on the other hand, never stopped trying to conquer the heavens. But then, everything changed with Rishi Durvasa. Durvasa was a great rishi, known across all worlds for his immense powers of penance. But he was also feared for one thing, his anger. No one dared to offend him, for his curses were swift, sharp, and inescapable. One day, Seth Durvasa was wandering on earth when he came across a celestial maiden. From her, he received a most precious gift, a divine garland, radiant with the fragrance of heaven. This was no ordinary garland. It carried within it the blessings of prosperity and fortune. Holding the garland with devotion, Durvasa thought, this must be given to one worthy, one who rules the heavens themselves. So he went straight to Indra, the king of Devas. At that time, Indra was riding his mighty elephant Airavat, the white four-tusked beast who had emerged from the cosmic ocean itself. Durvasa approached him, bowing slightly, and handed over the garland with great reverence. Take this, O Indra, Durvasa said. This is no ordinary garland. It is filled with divine energy. Keep it close to your heart, for it will bless you and all the Devas with eternal fortune. Indra, however, had grown arrogant. Victory after victory over the Asuras had made him careless and proud. Instead of wearing the garland with respect, he carelessly placed it on the head of Airavat. The elephant, irritated by the strong fragrance, shook his head violently and flung the garland to the ground. In an instant, the flowers were trampled underfoot. The world went silent. Durvasa's eyes burned like fire. His lips trembled with rage. Fool! The sage thundered. You dare insult a divine gift given with devotion? You are unworthy of prosperity. From this moment, you and all the Devas shall lose their strength, their fortune, their very glory. Indra tried to plead, forgive me, O sage, I meant no disrespect. But Durvasa raised his hand. His curse was already sealed. And just like that, the Devas began to weaken. As time passed, the curse took its toll. The weapons lost their power. Their bodies lost their glow. Their rituals bore no fruit. The heavenly city of Amravati grew dull and lifeless. The Asuras, always watching, saw their chance. Led by their mighty king Bali, they rose with terrifying strength. The battles that followed shook the three worlds, and one by one the Devas fell. Soon the heavens were conquered. The Devas, once mighty rulers of the skies, became wanderers, homeless and powerless. Finally, under the leadership of Indra, they went to Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, who alone could save them. With folded hands, Indra and other Devas prayed, O Lord Vishnu, protector of the worlds, we have been cursed and our strength is gone. The Asuras have defeated us. We cannot win back the heavens. Tell us, O Lord, how can we regain our lost glory? Vishnu listened patiently. His eyes, calm and deep, shone with compassion. He said, do not lose hope. There is a way by which you can regain your power, but it will not be easy. You must churn the Shira Sagar, the great cosmic ocean of milk, for hidden in its depth lies the Amrit, the nectar of immortality. Whoever drinks it will never weaken, never die, and will become invincible. The Devas looked at each other in wonder. Amrit? That was the only solution. But then Indra hesitated. "Oh Lord," he said, "the ocean is vast, endless. We Devs, weakened by the curse, have no strength left to churn it. How can we do this?" Vishnu smiled knowingly. "You cannot do this alone. You must join hands with the Asuras." The Devas were stunned. "With the Asuras?" Indra exclaimed. "They are our sworn enemies. They will never agree." Vishnu replied, "They do crave power, Indra. They do desire immortality. Tell them you wish to churn the ocean together and promise them a share of the nectar. They will agree. But remember, when the Amrit rises, I will make sure it reaches you, the Devas. Trust in me." Hesitant but with no other option, Indra and the Devas agreed to follow Vishnu's advice. Soon, the Devas approached Bali, the mighty king of the Asuras. Bali, grandson of the great Prahlad, was strong, wise, and fierce devotee of Vishnu himself. Indra said, "O King Bali, the ocean of milk holds treasure beyond our imagination and the nectar of immortality itself. If we join hands and churn it together, both Devas and Asuras shall benefit. Let us be allies, at least for this task." Bali thought carefully. The chance to obtain Amrit was too great to refuse. His eyes gleamed with ambition. He agreed, saying, "So be it. We shall churn the ocean together. But remember, the nectar will belong to both our races." And thus, for the first time, the eternal enemies, the Devas and the Asuras, formed an uneasy alliance. But a new problem appeared. How shall we churn an ocean so vast? The Devas and Asuras asked each other. They needed a churning rod and a rope strong enough to stir the cosmic waters. After much discussion, they chose the Mandara mountain as the churning rod. It was tall, mighty, and unshakable, the perfect choice. For the rope, they got hold of Vasuki, the king of serpents, who agreed to coil himself around the mountain. With the arrangements made, both sides grew excited. They marched together towards the ocean, ready to begin the greatest task ever attempted by gods and demons alike. But fate had more tests waiting. The Mandara mountain, though mighty, was also unbearably heavy. As the Devas and Asuras tried to carry it to the ocean, they staggered under its weight. Some collapsed, some cried out in pain. The mountain was too much for them. And then something even worse happened. When finally the mountain was placed in the ocean, it began to sink, slipping into the bottomless waters. The Devas and Asuras tried desperately to hold it, but their strength failed. The water swallowed it quickly, and the hope began to die in their hearts. Indra cried out, "O Lord Vishnu, save us. Without your grace, all is lost." The ocean roared. The waves rose high, and the mountain slipped deeper, as if the sea itself wanted to hide its treasure forever. Then the waters calmed. From the stillness arose Lord Vishnu, radiant as 1,000 suns. His voice was steady, powerful, yet filled with compassion. "Do not fear, I shall uphold your effort." And before the eyes of gods and demons, Vishnu transformed. His body grew vast, his form divine. He became the Kurma, the giant cosmic tortoise. With a shell broad as the sky, with strength deep as eternity, the Kurma slipped into the ocean depths. Down, down he went, until he reached the very floor of the sea. There he settled himself firmly. Upon his unshakable back, he lifted the mighty Mandara mountain, balancing it with ease. The Devas and Asuras gasped in wonder. The impossible had become possible. Now the preparations were complete. The Mandara stood tall, rooted on the back of the tortoise. Around it, Vasuki, the great serpent king, coiled himself like a rope. But another quarrel arose. Who shall hold the head of the Vasuki? The Asuras demanded. "We are stronger. We shall take the head." The Devas protested. "No. The head is dangerous, full of poison. We shall take it, while you hold the tail." But Vishnu, wise as ever, whispered to the Devas, "Let the Asuras hold the head. Do not argue. It will bring them their own downfall." So it was agreed. The Asuras proudly took Vasuki's head, while the Devas grasped its tail. At last, the churning began. The Asuras pulled Vasuki's head with all their might, while the Devas pulled at its tail. Back and forth they tugged, rocking the mountain in the waters. The Mandara turned, grinding the ocean. The waves foamed and roared, the sky trembled, the earth shook, and thus began the Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. But with each pull, something strange happened. Vasuki, forced and stretched, could not bear the strain. From his mouth, streams of fiery poison spewed out. Smoke and flames burst from his jaws, burning the asuras who held his head. They cried out in agony, but pride made them refuse to let go. The Devas at the tail were safe from the flames, just as Vishnu had planned. The churning grew fiercer. The ocean rolled like a storm, its waves rising high into the heavens. Thunder roared, lightning split the skies, and the waters foamed as if sea itself was alive. The Devas and Asuras strained with all their might, pulling Vasuki back and forth, back and forth. The Mandara crowned the waters. The Kurma bore the weight calm and steady, and then the ocean began to yield its secrets. One by one, all the treasures came out. Poison hala hala, which was swallowed by Lord Shiva to protect everyone. Kamdhenu cow, which was given to the sages. Uchai Shravas, the celestial horse, was taken by Asura king Bali. Kastub Cheval, which Vishnu took it and placed it upon his chest. Kalpavriksha was placed in gardens of the heaven. Apsaras, the celestial dancers, became the companions of the heaven. Varuni, goddess of wine, became the consort of Asuras. Devi Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, married Lord Vishnu. Finally, Dhanvantari, the divine physician, emerged with the pot of Amrit in his hand. The fragrance of nectar of immortality filled the air. Its glow lit up the heavens. Both Devas and Asuras froze, their eyes locked on the pot. The churning was over, but the real battle had just begun. No sooner had Dhanvantari appeared than the Asuras rushed forward with a roar. "Give it to us," they cried. With a sheer strength, they seized the pot of Amrit and carried it to their camp. The Devas were stunned. All their hard work, all their prayers, and now the nectar of immortality lay in the hands of their enemies. If the Asuras drank it first, they would rule the three worlds forever. The Devas turned to Vishnu in despair. "O Lord, if the Asuras consume the Amrit, we will be lost. Creation will fall under the tyranny. Only you can save us." Vishnu, calm and smiling, said, "Do not fear. I shall take a form they cannot resist. Through illusion, I will turn their greed against them." And so, Vishnu prepared for one of his most enchanting avatars. Suddenly, the battlefield fell silent. From the horizon came a radiant figure. Not a warrior, not a sage, but a woman of celestial beauty. Her eyes sparkled like stars. Her smile was sweeter than spring. Her form glowed with divine grace. This was Mohini, the enchantress born from Vishnu's Maya. The Asuras, bewitched, forgot their quarrels. Their eyes followed her every move. "O beautiful one," they said, "take this nectar. You alone must decide who shall drink it. We trust you more than we trust each other." They placed the pot of Amrita into her hands. Mohini smiled. "Very well. But I will distribute it on one condition. You must sit quietly in two rows. Devas on one side, Asuras on the other. None must move until I have served." Blinded by her charm, the Asuras agreed. The Devas, knowing Vishnu's plan, remained silent. Mohini began to serve. She moved gracefully among the Devas, giving each of them a share of Amrit. But when she walked past the Asuras, she gave them nothing. Entranced by her beauty, they did not notice, until it was too late. Yet not all the Asuras were blind. One among them, sharp and cunning, took the form of a Deva and slipped into their line. This was Rahu, the shadow demon. As Mohini poured the nectar into his cup, he raised it to his lips. But before he could swallow, the sun and moon, that is Surya and Chandra, recognized him and cried out, "Devi, he is no Deva. He is an Asura in disguise." At once, Vishnu revealed his true form and hurled his Sudarshan Chakra. The discus struck Rahu's neck, serving his head from his body. But in that instant, a drop of nectar had touched his tongue. Thus, Rahu's head became immortal while his body perished. Even today, his head chases the sun and moon across the skies. Swallowing them, during eclipses. One by one, the Devas drank the Amrit, their strength restored, their immortality renewed. The Asuras finally realized they had been deceived. Fury consumed them. You tricked us, they wrote. You cheated us. And they leapt upon the Devas, beginning the battle of the ages. The heavens shook as the two armies clashed once again. The Asuras fought fiercely, their rage giving them strength. The Devas, empowered by the nectar, stood firm and unyielding. Thunder roared, weapons clashed, mountains were hurled, oceans shook, the wars between Devas and Asuras burned across the worlds. And in the end, the Devas triumphed. The Asuras, defeated and humiliated, were driven back into the depths of underworld. The nectar was safe. The balance of the cosmos was restored. The Mandara was returned to its place. Vasuki slithered back into the forest. The ocean settled once more. Lord Vishnu, having guided the Devas through yet another trial, withdrew his Kurma form. The Devas rejoiced. Indra and the gods bowed to Vishnu and Shiva, their protectors. The treasures of the Churning now adored heaven, and the worlds breathed in peace. But this was not the end, for the cycle of Deva and Asura would never truly end. And with every imbalance, Vishnu would return in another form for another age. Thank you once again for being here on Tales by Darshu. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more tales from our mythology, do subscribe to the channel. Thank you and see you soon.